Imagine being 17, pouring your heart into a science project, only to have your so-called friends steal it and claim the glory. They got applause. I got detention for plagiarism. That was me, humiliated, betrayed, and forgotten. But I didn't give up. I built a tech empire from that stolen idea, and when those same friends begged to work for me, I gave them a taste of their own medicine. Want to know how I got the ultimate justice? Stick around. This story will blow you away. Pause. Screen fades to black. Title card appears with dramatic sound effect. Hey everyone, I'm Mia Chen. I'm 25, living in San Francisco, and I'm the founder of a tech startup that's changing the world, one sustainable chip at a time. But 8 years ago, I was just a shy high school nerd, betrayed by people I trusted, my dreams ripped away in front of everyone. Today, I'm sharing a real-life story from my life, a story of pain, perseverance, and the kind of justice that feels like poetic perfection. If you've ever been betrayed, underestimated, or had your work stolen, this one's for you. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's dive into a story that might just touch your heart. Ready? Here we go. I grew up in a small town outside Seattle, where the air smelled of rain and evergreen trees, and the high school was the kind of place where jocks and cheerleaders ruled, and nerds like me stayed invisible. My family wasn't rich. My dad ran a hardware store. My mom was a librarian, and I spent my weekends tinkering in our garage, surrounded by wires and circuit boards. I loved science, the hum of a soldering iron, the glow of a successful circuit, the thrill of solving problems no one else could. By 17, I was the quiet kid in AP Physics, always in a hoodie, my nose buried in a notebook full of equations. I wasn't popular, but I had a small group of friends, or so I thought. There was Rachel, the charismatic leader with a megawatt smile and a knack for getting what she wanted. Ethan, her boyfriend, was the charming slacker who could talk his way out of anything. And Sophie, the quiet one who followed Rachel's lead but always seemed to be watching, calculating. They'd sit with me in the library, copying my homework, asking for help with their labs. I didn't mind. I thought it meant they liked me. My pride was my senior project, a sustainable energy chip that could power small devices indefinitely using ambient energy from the environment. It was my baby. Months of late nights in the garage, my hands calloused from soldering, my eyes burning from staring at schematics. I'd sketch designs on napkins, test prototypes until dawn, dreaming of presenting it at the school science fair. It wasn't just a project. It was my ticket to college, to a future where I wasn't just the nerd. Rachel, Ethan, and Sophie knew about it. They'd hang out in the library while I explained my chip, their eyes glazing over but nodding like they cared. "That's so cool, Mia," Rachel would say, twirling her hair. "You're like a genius." I believed her. I even let them borrow my notes, thinking we were a team. That was my mistake. The science fair was the biggest event of the year. Judges from local tech companies, scholarships on the line, parents and students packed into the gym. I was nervous, but ready. My chip displayed on a table with a poster I'd spent hours designing. I stood there, my hands sweaty, my heart pounding, waiting for my turn to present. But when Rachel's group took the stage, my world stopped. They were presenting my chip. Same design, same specs, even my phrasing. Rachel stood there, her voice confident, claiming it was their collaborative effort. Ethan grinned, Sophie nodded along, and the judges ate it up, clapping like they'd discovered the next Einstein. I felt like I'd been punched. My legs shook as I stepped forward, my voice cracking. "That's my project," I said. "They stole it." The gym went silent. Rachel laughed, a sharp, dismissive sound. Mia, come on, you helped us brainstorm, but this is ours. Ethan chimed in, yeah, she's just confused. Sophie stayed quiet, her eyes avoiding mine. The judges looked at me like I was a liar. My teacher, Mr. Larson, pulled me aside, his face stern. Mia, accusing others without proof is serious. You're getting detention for plagiarism. Plagiarism, my own work. I stood there, my face burning, my hands clenched into fists, as Rachel's group took first place. The crowd cheered, cameras flashed, and I slipped out the back. My poster crumpled in my hands, tears stinging my eyes. The aftermath was brutal. Word spread fast. Mia tried to steal Rachel's project. Classmates whispered in the halls, their eyes darting away when I passed. She's so desperate, I heard one girl say, her voice dripping with pity. My locker was defaced with a sticky note. Thief. I ripped it off, my hands shaking, my heart pounding so loud I thought it would burst. I tried to explain, to teachers, to other students, but no one listened. Rachel, Ethan, and Sophie were untouchable. Rachel was the golden girl, Ethan the charming jock, Sophie the quiet brain who wouldn't lie. I was just the nerd, the outsider, the one who didn't belong. At home, I hid in my room, the garage too painful to face. My parents believed me, but their words couldn't erase the humiliation. You'll show them one day, my mom said, her hand warm on mine. But I didn't feel like I could. I felt small, powerless, like my dreams had been stolen along with my chip. The worst part? Rachel's group got a scholarship from the fair, their faces plastered in the local paper. Local teens innovate future of energy. My name wasn't mentioned. I saw Rachel at graduation, her cap decorated with glitter, laughing with Ethan and Sophie. She caught my eye and smirked, like she'd won. My stomach twisted, my nails digging into my palms. I wanted to scream, to demand justice, but I just walked away, my diploma feeling hollow. Every night I'd lie awake, replaying the fair, Rachel's laugh, the judge's disbelief. My fists clenched under the sheets, my heart heavy with betrayal. But deep inside, a spark flickered. They don't get to define you, I told myself. You're not done, Nia. That spark became my fuel. I got into MIT on a partial scholarship, scraping together loans and part-time jobs to cover the rest. I threw myself into engineering, my dorm room a mess of circuit boards and coffee cups. I'd stay up until dawn, my fingers raw from soldering, rebuilding my chip from scratch. Every tweak, every test was a rebellion against that science fair. Pshh! I didn't just want to prove I could do it. I wanted to make it better. I spent years refining the design, adding efficiency, solving flaws I'd missed at 17. My professors noticed, calling me a visionary. Classmates asked for my notes, but this time I kept my work close. I wasn't naive anymore. By 24, I graduated with honors and launched Novatech, a startup focused on sustainable energy solutions. I started in a tiny office, the air smelling of fresh paint and ambition, my chip at the core of our mission. I poured everything into it, savings, sleepless nights, every ounce of grit. When we unveiled the chip at a tech conference, it went viral. Blogs called it revolutionary. Investors lined up, offering millions. By 25, Novatech was a name in the industry, and I was on magazine covers as the next big thing in green tech. But the science fair never left me. Rachel's smirk, Ethan's lies, Sophie's silence, they were the shadows behind every success. I didn't want to hurt them. I wanted them to see what I'd built from the ashes of their betrayal. Then came the moment I'd been waiting for. Novatech announced an internship program and applications flooded in. I was reviewing them one night, my office lit by a single lamp, coffee cold on my desk. 3 names stopped me cold: Rachel Evans, Ethan Carter, Sophie Patel. My heart raced, my hands trembling as I read their resumes. They were 25 now, scraping by. Rachel, a barista. Ethan bouncing between sales jobs. Sophie, a part-time tutor. Their cover letters gushed about Novatech, calling it inspirational. They had no idea I was the founder. To them, I was just M. Chen, the mysterious CEO. I could have rejected them. I could have let them fade into obscurity. But that wasn't enough. I wanted them to see me, to feel the weight of what they'd done. So I hired them as unpaid volunteer interns, just like I'd volunteered my ideas for them in high school. I planned it carefully. Novatech was hosting a major product launch, televised live with tech giants and media in attendance. The interns would be there, assisting with setup, watching from the sidelines. I spent weeks preparing my speech, my hands steady as I typed, my reflection in the laptop screen smiling back. This is it, I told myself. This is your formula. The launch was set for a sleek San Francisco venue, the air buzzing with anticipation, cameras flashing, the crowd humming with excitement. I stood backstage, my navy blazer crisp, my chip gleaming on a display. Rachel, Ethan, and Sophie were there, wearing Novatech lanyards, setting up chairs, their faces a mix of boredom and nerves. They didn't know I was watching, waiting. The event began, the room packed with investors, reporters, and tech leaders. I stepped onto the stage, the spotlight hot on my face, my heart pounding, but my voice steady. "Good evening," I said, my words echoing through the mic. "I'm Mia Chen, founder of Novatech, and today we're unveiling the future of sustainable energy." The crowd cheered, but my eyes found Rachel, Ethan, and Sophie in the back, their faces frozen as they recognized me. Rachel's jaw dropped, her lanyard slipping from her hand. Ethan's eyes widened, his hands clenching into fists. Sophie looked down, her cheeks flushing red. I kept going, my voice calm but laced with purpose. This chip started as a high school project, one I poured my heart into. It was stolen from me, passed off as someone else's work, but I didn't let that stop me. I rebuilt it better than ever and built Novatech from that betrayal. The crowd gasped, murmurs rippling through the room. Cameras zoomed in, capturing every word. I gestured to the interns. "I'd like to thank our volunteer interns, Rachel, Ethan, and Sophie, for assisting with this project, just as they assisted me in high school." The spotlight shifted to them, their faces pale, their eyes darting like trapped animals. Rachel tried to smile, but it was forced, her lips trembling. Ethan muttered something under his breath, his hands stuffed in his pockets. Sophie stared at the floor, her shoulders hunched. The crowd applauded, oblivious to the subtext. But I saw it all. Their shock, their shame, the weight of their own actions crashing down. I didn't need to say more. My success, my stage, my chip said it all. After the event, Rachel approached me, her voice shaky. "Mia, we didn't mean to." I cut her off, my tone cool but polite. "It's fine, Rachel. You're here now, helping with my project. That's enough." Ethan and Sophie stood behind her, silent, their eyes avoiding mine. I walked away, my heels clicking on the polished floor, the applause still ringing in my ears. I felt light, free, like the girl who'd cried in the gym had finally won. This wasn't about humiliating them. It was about proving I was more than their betrayal. The science fair broke me at 17, but it also showed me what I'm capable of. I didn't just build a chip, I built a company, a legacy, a future. Nova Tech is my proof that you can rise from pain, that you can turn betrayal into something unstoppable. Rachel, Ethan, and Sophie saw it, and so did the world. I don't hate them. I hope they learned something, just like I did. So what's the lesson? The best revenge isn't anger or spite. It's success so bright, so undeniable, that those who wronged you can't look away. Keep building, keep dreaming, and let your work be your formula for justice. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and drop a comment below. Have you ever turned betrayal into triumph or seen someone get the karma they deserved? Tell us about it. If you love real-life stories of resilience, innovation, and sweet, sweet justice, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.